John wakes up from 3-year coma. Sophia, his devoted wife, stands beside hospital bed with tears. Doctors celebrate medical miracle. John's first words shock everyone. "I want a divorce." Sophia's face goes pale. She protests. Reminds him of her sacrifices. John's eyes are cold, calculated. He remembers everything. Every single moment of his so-called vegetative state. The massages nurse Deborah gave him. The conversations Sophia had with Ryan. The truth nobody knew. John was conscious, trapped, aware. For 3 years, he lay paralyzed, listening, observing, planning. Sophia believes she fooled everyone. She played the perfect devoted wife role. Spent fortune on his care, hired best nurses, visited daily. Public praised her loyalty. Magazines wrote articles about her dedication. But John knows the real story. He heard every whispered conversation, felt every careless touch, witnessed every betrayal. Now, he's awake. And revenge begins. The vegetative state was his prison. Consciousness without movement. Awareness without voice. But it gave him something precious, truth. While Sophia performed for cameras, John absorbed reality. The system that put him in this position promised him power upon awakening. Now that power activates. His first move. Divorce. Public will be shocked. Media will question him. But John has evidence. 3 years of evidence. Recorded conversations. Financial trails. Proof of everything. Sophia thinks she's safe. She believes her performance was flawless. The caring wife who never abandoned her husband. Society sees her as saint. But saints don't do what Sophia did. They don't whisper about inheritance with lawyers. Don't plan futures with ex-boyfriends. Don't hire nurses for ulterior motives. John's awakening isn't medical miracle. It's calculated emergence. He waited for perfect moment. Gathered enough evidence. Built his case. Now execution begins. Sophia's mask will crack. Ryan's involvement will surface. Deborah's role will be exposed. The 3 years of hell John endured will become their nightmare. His first words after waking weren't random. They were declaration of war. Divorce is just opening move. The real game starts now. John was never supposed to be in that hospital bed. 3 years ago, he was rising corporate attorney. Youngest partner at prestigious law firm. Sharp mind, sharper instincts. He met Sophia during college. She was art student, beautiful, fragile, always needing rescue. John played hero role perfectly. Helped her through failed courses. Supported her struggling art career. Paid her student loans. When they married, everyone called them perfect couple. John provided everything. Luxury apartment. European vacations. Unlimited credit cards. Sophia played supportive wife. Attended firm events. Smiled for cameras. Decorated their home beautifully. But cracks existed before the accident. John noticed small things. Sophia's phone always face down. Mysterious afternoon appointments. Credit card charges she couldn't explain. He ignored red flags. Trusted her completely. Believed in their marriage. His mistake. The accident happened on ordinary Tuesday. John was driving home from court. Witness testimony unclear. Some said another car ran red light. Others claimed John swerved suddenly. Result was same. Massive head trauma. Doctors gave grim prognosis. Severe brain damage. Vegetative state. Minimal chance of recovery. Sophia cried beautifully at hospital. Cameras captured her grief. Media called her devoted wife. She pledged to never leave his side. For first month, Sophia visited daily. Held his hand. Read him books. Played his favorite music. Doctors praised her dedication. Nurses admired her commitment. John's parents, both deceased, left him substantial inheritance. Sophia controlled everything now. Medical decisions, financial accounts. His entire life. Second month brought changes. Visits became shorter. Sophia's attention drifted. She hired nurse Deborah. Expensive, highly recommended. Deborah came daily for deep tissue massages. Prevented muscle atrophy. Maintained circulation. Medical necessity, Sophia claimed. But John was conscious. Trapped in paralyzed body, mind fully aware. He couldn't move, couldn't speak, but he could hear, could understand, could remember everything. This was his nightmare. Doctors called it locked-in syndrome variant. Extremely rare. Almost impossible to diagnose. Patient appears vegetative but retains consciousness. John experienced every moment. Every conversation around his bed. Every decision made without his input. Every betrayal. Sophia didn't know. Nobody knew. They treated him like furniture. Discussed plans openly. Revealed secrets freely. John absorbed everything. Sophia's true nature emerged gradually. First sign came during conversation with her lawyer. John heard every word. Discussion about his assets. His insurance policies. His firm's partnership agreement. Lawyer explained technicalities. If John remained vegetative for 5 years, Sophia could declare him legally incompetent. Gain complete control of estate. Divorce wouldn't be necessary. She'd inherit everything. Sophia asked detailed questions. How much exactly? When could she access funds? What about his firm shares? Her tone wasn't grieving wife. It was calculating predator. That conversation changed everything for John. Woman he trusted. Person he built life with. She was planning his legal death. Counting his money. Plotting her future. Without him. Then Ryan appeared. John recognized voice immediately. Ryan was John's best friend since law school. They built careers together. Celebrated victories. Supported through defeats. John trusted Ryan completely. Named him emergency contact. Gave him power of attorney backup. Ryan visited hospital regularly at first. Spoke to John's unconscious form. Promised to help Sophia through difficult time. Noble friend. Loyal companion. Lies. All lies. By 3rd month, Ryan's visits had different purpose. He came when Deborah was there. When Sophia was there. They talked freely around John's bed. Discussed things that made John's trapped consciousness burn with rage. Ryan comforted Sophia. Too much comfort. Touches that lasted too long. Whispers that weren't appropriate. Sophia didn't resist. She welcomed attention, laughed at Ryan's jokes. Accepted his embraces. John watched through paralyzed eyes, helpless. Furious. Betrayed. The affair started subtly. Stolen moments during hospital visits, coffee meetings to discuss John's condition. Dinner to help Sophia cope with stress. Ryan played supportive friend role. Sophia played grieving wife. Both were excellent actors. John was unwilling audience to their performance. Deborah, the nurse, completed triangle. She wasn't innocent medical professional. She was Sophia's accomplice. Hired specifically because she'd cooperate. Keep secrets. Maintain appearances. Deborah's massages were legitimate medical care. But they served another purpose. They kept John's body healthy. Maintained muscle tone. Preserved physical condition. Why? Because Sophia needed him alive. Needed him in vegetative state. Not dead. Not recovered. Perfectly suspended. Dead husband meant investigations. Insurance scrutiny. Potential questions. Recovered husband meant losing control. Facing consequences. Explaining decisions. Vegetative husband was perfect solution. Sophia controlled everything. Appeared sympathetic. Maintained public image. Meanwhile lived separate life. John pieced together, full picture slowly. Months of overheard conversations. Whispered plans. Careless comments. Sophia and Ryan weren't just having an affair. They planned future together. Using John's money. Living in John's house. Building life on John's destruction. Deborah helped them. Falsified some medical reports. Exaggerated John's unresponsiveness. Discouraged aggressive treatments. Kept him stable but unchanged. 3 players. 1 victim. Perfect crime. Except they didn't know John heard everything. During those 3 years, John's consciousness sharpened. His mind grew stronger. Trapped body. Free mind. He memorized conversations. Tracked patterns. Built mental evidence file. The system that caused his condition promised compensation. Some cosmic balance. When he recovered, he'd have advantages. Enhanced memory. Perfect recall. Abilities beyond normal. Justice for suffering. John held on to that promise. Through endless dark months. Through winter of betrayal. Through agony of helplessness. He waited. Planned. Prepared. Then 18 months ago, something changed. John felt finger twitch. Tiny movement. Invisible to observers. But real. Sign of returning control. More changes followed. Slow. Incremental. Toe movement. Facial muscle flutter. Nothing obvious. Nothing detectable on standard tests. But John felt his prison walls cracking. He kept changes hidden. Didn't alert anyone. Maintained appearance of vegetative state. Meanwhile, regaining control gradually. Why reveal recovery? Better to wait. Gather more evidence. Let them incriminate themselves further. Sophia grew bolder. Ryan more careless. Deborah more complicit. They believed themselves safe. John let them believe it. 6 months ago, John could move eyes deliberately, track movements, focus on objects. He kept this hidden too. Closed eyes when anyone approached. Maintained vacant stare. Perfect deception. 3 months ago, he could have spoken, could have moved, could have ended charade, but he waited, wanted complete recovery, wanted all evidence, wanted perfect moment. That moment came yesterday. Full motor control returned. Speech capability restored. Medical team amazed. Called it unprecedented recovery. Miracle of modern medicine. Sophia cried tears of joy for cameras. Embraced him carefully. Whispered loving words. All performance. John saw through everything now. His first conscious act as recovered man, request divorce. Nuclear option. Immediate declaration. No pretense. No games. Sophia's shock was genuine. She expected grateful husband. Confused patient. Easy manipulation. Instead, faced cold, determined man. Man who knew everything. Man who remembered. Man who planned revenge. The 3 years of hell were over. Now came reckoning. Sophia's face transformed when John spoke those words. Shock became confusion. Confusion became panic. She looked at Ryan, who stood frozen near doorway. Looked at Deborah, who suddenly found medical chart fascinating. Hospital room filled with tension. Thick. Suffocating. John watched their reactions with satisfaction. 3 years of performance ended. Truth time began. Sophia recovered first. Always best actor among them. Her tears started immediately. Voice trembling. John, darling, you're confused. The coma, it's affected your thinking. You don't mean this. You're just disoriented. Classic manipulation. Blame his mental state. Doctors exchanged worried glances. Head physician stepped forward. Mr. Morrison, it's normal to experience confusion after prolonged unconsciousness. Perhaps we should run more neurological tests. John's voice was steady. Clear. Absolutely certain. I'm not confused. I want divorce. Immediately. I also want my lawyer. Charles Bennett. Call him now. Ryan finally spoke. John, buddy, you've been through trauma. You need time to adjust. Think about what you're saying. Hearing Ryan's voice triggered fresh wave of anger. Best friend, trusted companion, betrayer. John turned his head. Made direct eye contact. First time in 3 years. I know exactly what I'm saying, Ryan, and I know exactly what you've been doing. With my wife. In my house. Using my money. The room went silent. Absolute. Complete. Sophia's tears stopped. Ryan's face went pale. Deborah quietly moved toward door. John continued, relentless. Did you think I couldn't hear? Couldn't understand? You discussed everything around my bed. Your affair. Your plans. Your future. Using my assets. You thought I was vegetable. Empty shell. Safe to ignore. Sophia's acting crumbled. Her voice turned sharp. That's impossible. You were unconscious. Doctors confirmed it. Tests showed minimal brain activity. You're making this up. John smiled. Cold smile. Predator's smile. Tests showed what Deborah reported. What you paid her to report. But I heard everything, Sophia. Every word. Every plan. Every betrayal. Deborah tried to leave. John's voice stopped her. Nurse Deborah. Stay. You're part of this conversation. You falsified my medical reports. Took bribes. Committed medical fraud. You'll want to hear what happens next. Hospital security was called. Doctors demanded explanations. Chaos erupted. Sophia tried damage control. He's delusional. Coma caused paranoid delusions. Common medical condition. Right. Doctor. Head physician looked uncertain. We need to evaluate his mental state properly. These accusations are serious. If true, they involve medical malpractice and fraud. John provided details. Dates. Conversations. Specific incidents. Information only conscious person could know. He recounted conversation from 14 months ago. Sophia and Ryan discussing vacation to Maldives. Using John's credit card. Joking about him paying for their romantic getaway. Described what they wore that day. What time they arrived. Which nurse was on duty. Details that couldn't be fabricated. Couldn't be guessed. Only known by someone present. Aware. Listening. Sophia's face went white. Ryan backed toward door. John continued. Recalled discussion about changing his will. Sophia and lawyer talking strategy. How to ensure she inherited everything. Minimize complications. Avoid probate issues. Quoted exact phrases. Legal terminology. Specific dollar amounts. The lawyer wasn't present to deny it. But his words, spoken months ago, now returned as evidence. Deborah cracked first. Nurse's face stressed differently. She couldn't maintain composure under John's detailed accusations. I just did what she asked. She paid extra. Said it was to ensure best care. I didn't know it was wrong. I thought she wanted privacy. Sophia turned on her viciously. Shut up. Don't say anything. They can't prove anything. He's making wild accusations. But Deborah continued, voice breaking. She asked me to adjust reports. Make his condition seem worse than it was. Discourage aggressive treatments. She said it was to prevent unnecessary suffering. Hospital administration was called. Legal team summoned. Police contacted. The small hospital room became command center. Investigation headquarters. John remained calm throughout. He'd planned this moment for months. Knew exactly what would happen. How people would react. What evidence to reveal. Charles Bennett, his lawyer, arrived within an hour. Tall, silver-haired, ruthlessly efficient. He assessed situation immediately. Took control. Nobody speaks to my client without my presence. Sophia Morrison, you need legal representation. Ryan Cooper, same advice. Nurse Deborah, say nothing more without attorney. Charles pulled John aside. Private consultation in adjacent room. Tell me everything. Quickly. Completely. John did. 3 years of consciousness. Overheard conversations. Observed betrayals. The affair. The financial planning. The medical fraud. Charles listened without interruption. His expression never changed. When John finished, Charles nodded. We'll destroy them. Legally. Completely. But we need evidence beyond your testimony. Your word against theirs. We need documentation. John smiled. I have documentation. Sort of. The system that kept me conscious also enhanced my memory. I remember every conversation. Word for word. Every date. Every detail. Computer perfect recall. Charles raised eyebrow. That's unusual. But useful. We'll need to verify somehow. Make it credible in court. There's more. John continued. I can provide information only conscious person would know. Details about their private conversations. Things they never documented. Specifics that prove I was aware. Good. We'll use that, but expect them to claim you somehow gained information after waking. We need stronger evidence. John leaned forward. Then we investigate. Financial records, credit card statements, hotel reservations, text messages. They've been careless. They thought I'd never wake up. Never discover. Never challenge them. Charles smiled. Shark smile. Now we're talking. I'll get investigators immediately. Subpoena records. Build case. This is going to be spectacular. Back in hospital room, situation deteriorated. Sophia hired lawyer. High-profile divorce attorney. Known for protecting wealthy wives. Ryan lawyered up too. Criminal defense specialist. Deborah was suspended pending investigation. Medical board notified. 3 separate legal battles began simultaneously. Divorce proceedings. Fraud investigation. Medical malpractice case. John at center of all 3. But now he had voice. Had control. Had power. Sophia tried different approach. Sent messages through her lawyer. Claimed misunderstanding. Said she always loved him. Everything was for his benefit. His care. His recovery. Ryan claimed friendship motivated his actions. Supporting Sophia through difficult time. Nothing inappropriate. Misinterpreted kindness. Deborah blamed Sophia. Said she was manipulated. Followed orders. Didn't understand implications. 3 guilty parties. 3 different defenses. All lies. John knew truth. Had evidence. Would prove everything. The conflict that began in hospital room would spread. Consume their lives. Destroy their futures. 3 years they stole from him. 3 years he'd make them pay for. Investigation started within days. Charles hired best firm. They moved fast. Credit card records showed suspicious patterns. Charges at romantic restaurants. Hotel rooms. Vacation resorts. All on John's accounts. While he lay in hospital. Sophia claimed expenses were therapy. Dealing with trauma. Stress relief. Investigators found romantic photos. Social media posts. Deleted but recoverable. Sophia and Ryan at beach. Mountain resort. City hotels. Dates matched hospital records. Times, John was supposedly being visited. Being cared for. Being supported. They were together. Somewhere else. Text messages revealed more. Recovered from cloud backups. Deleted conversations. Incriminating exchanges. Sophia and Ryan discussing John's condition. His prognosis. Their future. Words like, when he finally dies, and once this is over, appeared repeatedly. Their lawyers tried to suppress evidence. Claimed privacy violations. Illegal surveillance. But John's legal team countered effectively. Financial records were legitimate discovery. Social media posts were public. Text messages on shared family plan were accessible. Judge after judge sided with John. Evidence mounted. Overwhelming. Undeniable. Sophia's image crumbled. Media that praised her devotion now questioned everything. Articles appeared. Devoted wife or calculating fraud. Hospital bedside betrayal. Best friend's ultimate betrayal. Public opinion shifted. Dramatically. Completely. Ryan's law firm partnership was suspended. Ethics investigation launched. He couldn't represent clients while facing fraud charges himself. Career destroyed. Reputation shattered. Deborah lost nursing license. Medical board found clear evidence of falsified reports. Bribery. Patient neglect. Criminal charges pending. 3 lives imploding. 3 careful plans destroyed. All because John woke up. Because he remembered. Because he fought back. Alone in his new apartment, John confronted his emotions. 3 years of suppressed feelings. Rage. Betrayal. Helplessness. They hit him in waves. Some nights he couldn't sleep. Mind replaying moments from hospital bed. Sophia's laughter with Ryan. Their whispered plans. Their careless cruelty. He remembered specific incident. 8 months into his coma. Sophia and Ryan in his room late at night. Thought he was completely unconscious. Ryan kissed her. Long. Passionate. Right beside John's bed. John's mind screamed. His body remained frozen. Helpless. Forced to witness his own betrayal. Unable to react. Unable to stop it. That memory haunted him. Played on repeat. Therapy helped somewhat. Charles insisted. You need to process this. Can't let rage consume you. Need clear head for legal battle. Therapist specialized in trauma. Listened to John's story. Didn't judge. Didn't dismiss. What you experienced is profound violation. 3 years of consciousness without agency. Witnessing betrayal without ability to respond. That's torture. John agreed. It was torture. Psychological. Emotional. Spiritual. How do you cope? Therapist asked. Revenge. John answered honestly. Planning their destruction. That's what kept me sane. What keeps me focused now? Therapist frowned. Revenge is understandable. But it can't be only motivation. Can't be sole purpose. What else drives you? John considered. Justice. Truth. Making sure they can't do this to anyone else. Deborah could falsify records for other patients. Sophia could manipulate other vulnerable people. Ryan could betray other friends. Better. Therapist said. Justice is healthier motivation than pure revenge. Focus on that. On preventing future harm. Not just punishing past wrongs. But revenge felt good. John couldn't deny it. Watching their lives crumble. Their plans fail. Their lies expose. Sweet vindication. Charles provided regular updates. Each one brought satisfaction. Ryan's firm officially terminated him. Ethics board found violations. He'll likely be disbarred. Sophia's lawyer wants to settle. She's scared. Knows evidence is overwhelming. Wants to minimize damage. Deborah accepted plea deal. Testimony against Sophia. Confirms everything. Your case just got stronger. Each victory felt hollow though. John won legal battles. But lost 3 years. Lost marriage. Lost best friend. Lost trust in humanity. Sometimes rage overwhelmed strategy. John wanted to confront Ryan directly. Face to face. Charles advised against it. Nothing good comes from that. He'll use anything you say. Turn it against you. Stay silent. Let lawyers handle it. John obeyed. But fantasized about confrontation. What he'd say. How Ryan would respond. Whether former friend felt any guilt. Probably not. Sociopaths rarely did. Sophia tried reaching him multiple times. Messages through lawyers. Letters delivered to his apartment. Flowers. Gifts. All attempting reconciliation. One letter read. John, I know you're angry. You have right to be. But please understand. I was scared. Alone. Ryan provided comfort during impossible time. It didn't mean I stopped loving you. I always hoped you'd recover. Always wanted our life back. The divorce talk is hasty. We can work through this. Rebuild our marriage. Stronger than before. Please give me chance to explain. To make things right. I'm still your wife. Still the woman you married. That hasn't changed. John burned the letter. Watched it curl and blacken. Felt nothing. Woman he married never existed. She was performance. Carefully crafted illusion. Real Sophia was calculating. Selfish. Cruel. He should have seen signs earlier. Before accident. Before marriage. But love blinded him. Made him stupid. He wouldn't make that mistake again. Trust was gone. Permanently. His support system was minimal. Parents dead. Sister lived overseas. Few close friends. And he'd learned friendship meant nothing. Ryan proved that. Charles became unlikely confidant. Professional relationship evolved into something deeper. Mutual respect. Charles shared his own betrayal story. My first wife had an affair with my law partner. Found out during major trial. Destroyed me. Professionally. Personally. I understand what you're feeling. How did you recover? John asked. Time. Distance. Success. Built better life. Found better partner. Realized her betrayal reflected her character. Not my worth. John appreciated wisdom. But wasn't ready to move forward. Still processing. Still healing. Still fighting. Media attention complicated everything. Journalists wanted interviews. Book deals offered. Movie rights discussed. Everyone wanted John's story. Charles filtered requests. Most are vultures. Exploiting your trauma. Few legitimate journalists. But even they want sensational angle. John refused all interviews. Maintained silence. Let evidence speak, but silence created void. Void filled with speculation, rumors, wild theories. Some claimed John faked coma, planned elaborate revenge. Others suggested he had help. Secret ally. Inside information. Few believed his locked-in syndrome explanation. Too convenient. Too perfect. John didn't care about public opinion. Cared about legal victory. About justice. About making them pay. His physical recovery was remarkable. 3 years of immobility should have caused severe atrophy. But Deborah's massages helped. Ironic. Her complicit medical care accidentally aided him. Physical therapy progressed quickly. John regained strength. Mobility. Independence. Doctors amazed. Your recovery is unprecedented. Muscle tone maintained despite prolonged unconsciousness. Neural pathways intact. Cognitive function perfect. Medically fascinating. John cooperated with medical studies. Let doctors run tests. Analyze data. He became case study. Medical mystery. But he knew truth. The system that trapped him also preserved him. Prepared him for awakening. Gave him advantages. Enhanced memory was just beginning. He noticed other changes. Heightened perception. Enhanced intuition. Ability to read people. Detect lies. Anticipate actions. Useful in legal battle. Useful in life. Charles noticed too. You're different. Sharper. More aware. Whatever happened during those 3 years changed you. John nodded. Suffering changes people. Either destroys them or forges them stronger. I chose stronger. Good choice. Charles said. You'll need that strength. This fight isn't over. They'll get desperate. Try dirty tactics. Be prepared. John was prepared. Expected desperation. Welcomed it. Desperate people made mistakes. Revealed true nature. Exposed themselves. Sophia's desperation showed first. She hired private investigator. Tried finding dirt on John. Anything to leverage. Investigator found nothing. John's life before accident was clean. Faithful husband. Honest lawyer. Good friend. Ironic. The innocent party had nothing to hide. Guilty party scrambled for defense. Ryan attempted different strategy. Contacted John's former colleagues. Spread rumors about John's mental state. Claimed recovery was incomplete. That John was delusional. Paranoid. Unreliable. Backfired spectacularly. Colleagues knew John. Trusted him. Resented Ryan's manipulation. Several provided statements supporting John. Contradicting Ryan's claims. Each failed strategy strengthened John's position. Each desperate move exposed more guilt. John watched patiently. Let them struggle. Let them fail. 3 years of patience taught him value of waiting. Perfect timing. Strategic action. Night terrors plagued him. Dreams of paralysis. Of consciousness without control. Of witnessing betrayal unable to respond. He'd wake sweating. Heart racing. Apartment silent. Therapist said, nightmares were normal. PTSD from trauma. They'll decrease with time. As you process experience. As you reclaim control, your subconscious is working through violation. John accepted explanation. Endured nightmares. Knew they'd fade eventually. Meanwhile, focused on waking hours. On legal battle. On justice. Loneliness was constant companion. Apartment felt empty. Life felt hollow. He'd lost 3 years. Lost relationships. Lost trust. Rebuilding seemed impossible. Starting over seemed overwhelming. But he had to try. Had to move forward. Had to create new life from ruins of old. Charles encouraged socializing. Don't isolate. Don't let bitterness consume you. Connect with people. Rebuild social network. John tried. Attended law firm events. Old colleagues welcomed him back. But conversations felt forced. Everyone knew his story. Pitied him. Treated him carefully. He hated pity. Preferred anger. Anger was honest. Pity was patronizing. Some evenings he sat alone. Apartment dark. Reviewing evidence. Planning next legal move. Finding satisfaction in strategy. In intellectual challenge. In approaching victory. This was his life now. Legal battles. Therapy sessions. Physical therapy. Solitary evenings. Not the life he imagined. But the life he had. He'd make it work. Make it meaningful. Make it enough. Because alternative was surrender. Letting them win. Accepting betrayal. That wasn't option. Would never be option. So he fought. Every day. Every way possible. Fought for justice. For truth. For vindication. Fought against darkness. Against bitterness. Against despair. Some days fight was easier. Evidence emerged. Cases progressed. Victory approached. Other days fight was exhausting. Emotions overwhelming. Future uncertain. But he never stopped fighting. Never considered quitting. 3 years of helplessness. 3 years of forced patience. That ended. Now he had power. Had agency. Had control. And he'd use every advantage. Every resource. Every opportunity. To make them pay. To reclaim his life. To win. The breakthrough came from unexpected source. Deborah's full confession. Her plea deal required complete testimony. Everything she witnessed. Everything she did. Everything she knew. Charles arranged meeting. Private office. Deborah looked defeated. Broken. Different from confident nurse who'd worked John's case. I'm sorry, she started. Voice barely whisper. I know that doesn't fix anything. Doesn't undo what I did. But I'm truly sorry. John remained silent. Let her continue. Sophia approached me 6 months after your accident. Said she needed someone trustworthy. Someone discreet. Offered triple normal rate. I needed money. Student loans. Sick mother. I justified it as helping everyone. What exactly did she ask you to do? Charles asked. At first just privacy. Don't discuss his case with other staff. Report only to her. Seemed harmless. Then requests changed. Became more questionable. Specifics. Charles demanded. Deborah pulled out notebook. Detailed records. She asked me to adjust therapy intensity. Make it appear he was receiving more care than actual. Bill for services not fully rendered. Said it was insurance issue. I believed her initially. She continued. Then she wanted reports modified. Make his condition seem more severe. More hopeless. She claimed it was to prevent false hope. Protect herself emotionally. I should have questioned it. Should have refused. Why didn't you? John spoke first time, his voice cold. Factual. Deborah met his eyes briefly. Then looked away. Money. She kept increasing payments. 5,000. 10,000. 20,000. More money than I'd ever seen. I convinced myself I wasn't hurting you. That your condition was genuine. That my reports didn't matter. But you knew I might be conscious. John stated. Deborah nodded. Tears started. There were signs. Sometimes your heart rate changed during conversations. Your eye movements seemed almost purposeful. I noted them in personal records. Never official ones. Charles leaned forward. You have those personal records? Yes. Everything. I kept detailed notes. Thought they might protect me someday. Turns out they condemn me instead. She handed over thick folder. Charles flipped through pages. His expression sharpened. This is detailed. Dates. Times. Observations. Conversations overheard. Financial transactions. John took folder. Read entries. Each page validated his experience. Confirmed his memories. Proved his consciousness. One entry stood out. Patient's pupil dilation suggests emotional response to visitor's conversation. Heart rate variability correlates with topic discussion. Possible higher consciousness level than diagnosed. Did not report to attending physician per Sophia Morrison's instruction. Received $15,000 bonus this month. John handed page to Charles. That's evidence. Clear evidence of fraud. Of conspiracy. Charles nodded. This changes everything. Deborah, you're willing to testify to all this, in court, under oath? Yes, it's why I'm here. I can't live with guilt anymore. What I did was wrong, criminal. I need to make it right. She continued. There's more. Sophia and Ryan. I witnessed their affair. Documented it. Times they were together in your room. Hotels they went to. Restaurants. All while claiming to visit you. More pages. More evidence. Photographic proof. Deborah had been thorough. Paranoid perhaps. But thorough. Why document so much? John asked. Insurance. Sophia was dangerous, manipulative. I worried she'd turn on me eventually. Blame me for everything. I wanted protection. Proof she directed everything. Smart, Charles admitted. Unethical but smart. Deborah provided final revelation. Sophia discussed killing you. Never seriously planned it. But discussed it. With Ryan. Whether it might be easier. Cleaner. Less complicated than waiting for natural death. John's blood went cold. When? About 18 months ago. In your room. Late night. They thought you were completely unconscious. Monitors showed minimal activity. They felt safe talking freely. What exactly did they say? Charles was recording now. Everything documented. Ryan suggested stopping treatment. Let nature take course. Sophia worried it would look suspicious. Too convenient. They discussed making it appear natural. Medication error maybe. Or infection. Deborah's voice shook. I didn't report it, should have, but I was complicit by then. Trapped. Scared. I just documented it. Kept evidence. Hoped it would never come to that. John struggled with revelation. They discussed murdering him. Casually. Like discussing dinner plans. While he lay paralyzed. Conscious. Listening. They didn't go through with it obviously. Deborah continued. Ryan worried about investigation. Sophia worried about inheritance complications. If death seemed suspicious, authorities might freeze assets. They decided waiting was safer. Charles asked more questions. Extracted every detail. Built timeline. Established pattern. Conspiracy. Fraud. Potential attempted murder. Case grew stronger. More complex. More serious. When meeting ended, Charles was energized. This is beyond divorce case now. This is criminal. Conspiracy to commit fraud. Possibly conspiracy to commit murder. We need to contact district attorney. John felt strange mix of emotions. Vindication. Horror. Rage. Grief. They'd planned his death. Discussed it clinically. While pretending to love him. To support him. To care. Charles made calls. District attorney interested. Very interested. High-profile case. Clear evidence. Willing witness. Prosecutable crimes. Investigation expanded. Criminal charges prepared. Media explosion imminent. John went home. Sat in darkness. Processed revelations. Marriage hadn't just failed. It had been lie from beginning. Or had it? He remembered early years, before accident. Sophia had seemed genuine then. Loving. Devoted. When had she changed? Or had he just been blind? Maybe she'd always been this person. Calculating. Selfish. Opportunistic. Accident just revealed her true nature. Gave her opportunity. She took it. Charles called that evening. District attorney filing charges tomorrow. Conspiracy to commit fraud. Medical fraud. Financial exploitation. They'll arrest Sophia and Ryan. Media will explode. Are you prepared? Yes, John answered. He'd been preparing for 3 years. Your life changes tomorrow. Becomes public. Scrutinized. Analyzed. Everyone will have opinion. Everyone will judge. Stay strong. Remember why we're doing this. Justice, John said. Exactly. Justice. For you. For future potential victims. This matters beyond personal revenge. That night John didn't sleep. Lay awake. Thought about tomorrow. About arrests. About public revelation. About everything changing. 3 years of silent suffering. About to become public knowledge. His private hell. Now, public spectacle. Was it worth it? He decided yes. Absolutely yes. They needed to pay. Others needed to know. Truth needed exposure. Morning came. Charles called. It's done. Arrests made. Sophia and Ryan in custody. Bail hearings this afternoon. Media everywhere. Your story is headline news. John turned on television. His face on every channel. Hospital photos. Wedding photos. Current photos. Sophia and Ryan in handcuffs. Headline screamed. Devoted wife arrested for fraud. Best friend betrayed coma patient. Nurse admits to medical conspiracy. Phone exploded. Messages. Calls. Emails. Everyone wanting statement. Wanting interview. Wanting his story. Charles handled media. Released prepared statement. John remained silent. Let evidence speak. Let system work. Public reaction was intense. Overwhelming support. Some skepticism. Mostly outrage at Sophia and Ryan. Social media erupted. Hashtags trended. Justice for John. Coma betrayal. Devoted wife exposed. John watched from apartment. Safe. Private. Victorious. This was turning point. No going back now. Criminal case proceeded. Civil case strengthened. His enemies cornered. Desperate. Destroyed. Everything he'd planned. Everything he'd worked for. Coming together perfectly. 3 years of hell. Leading to this moment. This victory. This justice. And it felt good. Really good. The trial became media sensation. Cameras outside courthouse daily. Reporters shouting questions. Public watching obsessively. Inside courtroom, drama exceeded expectations. Prosecution built case methodically. Charles led civil suit simultaneously. 2 fronts. Total war. Sophia and Ryan sat separately. Different tables. Different lawyers. United betrayal. Divided defense. First week focused on medical fraud. Deborah testified extensively. Detailed every falsified report. Every bribed action. Every compromised decision. Her testimony was devastating. Credible. Supported by documentation. Cross-examination tried discrediting her. You're convicted criminal. Admitted liar. Why should jury believe anything you say? Deborah remained steady. Because I kept records. Everything is documented. Dates. Times. Payments. Medical notes. You can verify independently. Prosecution entered evidence. Bank records showing Sophia's payments to Deborah. Hundreds of thousands over 3 years. Deborah's personal medical notes. Observations about John's consciousness. Deliberate omissions from official records. Expert witnesses testified. Neurologists. Medical ethicists. All confirmed, Deborah's official reports contradicted her private observations. Clear evidence of falsification. Deliberate misrepresentation. Criminal fraud. Sophia's lawyer tried deflecting. My client trusted medical professional. She's victim here too. Deborah deceived her. Took her money. Provided false assurances. Weak defense. Jury looked skeptical. Evidence too clear. Pattern too obvious. Second week addressed financial exploitation. Forensic accountants testified. Traced money flows. Sophia spent lavishly during John's coma. European vacations. Designer clothes. Expensive jewelry. All from John's accounts. Restaurants. Hotels. Entertainment. Often with Ryan. While John lay hospitalized. Bills itemized everything. Romantic dinners. Couples. Massages. Luxury suites. Hard to claim innocent friendship. Ryan's financial records examined. He received money from Sophia. 50,000 here. 100,000 there. Loans. His lawyer claimed. Between friends. Prosecution countered with text messages. Thanks for the trip, baby. Love spending his money with you. Can't wait until this is over and it's all ours. Not loans. Payment for participation. Conspiracy. Third week brought most explosive testimony. John himself. Courtroom packed. Media frenzy outside. Everyone wanted to hear his story. Directly. Unfiltered. Charles prepared him thoroughly. Stay calm. Stick to facts. Don't let emotion overwhelm testimony. Let evidence speak. John took stand. Swore oath. Faced Sophia and Ryan. Made eye contact. Saw fear in their eyes. Good. Prosecution started gently. Mr. Morrison. Please tell court about your experience in coma. John spoke clearly. Detailed his consciousness. The locked-in syndrome. Awareness without mobility. I heard everything. Understood everything. Remembered everything. For 3 years. What did you hear? Conversations about my assets. My insurance. My expected death. Discussions between Sophia and Ryan about their relationship. Their plans. Their future using my money. Specifically what was said. John provided examples. Exact quotes. Dates. Locations. Details only conscious person could know. October 15th. Year 1. Sophia and her lawyer discussed changing my will. Making her sole beneficiary. Eliminating other potential inheritors. I heard every word. January 23rd, Year 2. Ryan and Sophia discussed vacation to Bahamas. Using my credit card. Joked about me funding their romantic getaway. I couldn't stop them. July 9th, Year 2. They discussed whether letting me die would be easier. Sophia worried about investigation. Ryan suggested making it look natural. I lay there terrified. Helpless. Courtroom silent. Absolute. Everyone absorbed his words. Sophia's lawyer cross-examined. Aggressive. Attacking. Mr. Morrison. This perfect recall is convenient. How can we verify these memories? Check financial records. Credit cards. Travel bookings. Everything I've described is documented independently. But your interpretation is subjective. Maybe these were innocent conversations misunderstood. I also remember what you wore. What time you arrived. Who else was present. Details that prove I was conscious. Aware. Lawyer tried different angle. You claim my client discussed letting you die. Yet here you are. Alive. Doesn't that prove she didn't want you dead? John smiled coldly. It proves she was too cowardly to follow through. Too worried about consequences. Not too moral. Too scared. Lawyer pressed. You're bitter. Angry. Understandably. But aren't you exaggerating events? Creating narrative that justifies your vendetta? No, John said firmly. I'm telling truth. Documented. Verified. Proven by independent evidence. This isn't vendetta. It's justice. Ryan's testimony came next day. His lawyer advised against it. He insisted. Wanted to defend himself. Explain his actions. Mistake. Huge mistake. Ryan claimed innocence. I was supporting friend's wife through crisis. Nothing inappropriate. Misinterpreted kindness. Prosecution destroyed him. Showed photos. Text messages. Hotel records. This is misinterpreted kindness, Ryan stammered. Tried explaining. Each explanation sounded worse. Sophia needed emotional support. I provided it. In hotel rooms. We needed privacy. To discuss sensitive matters. While her husband lay unconscious in hospital. We couldn't talk there. Too public. Jury looked disgusted. Ryan kept digging. Kept explaining. Kept incriminating himself. His lawyer tried stopping testimony. Too late. Damage done. Cross-examination was brutal. You were John Morrison's best friend. Correct? Yes. He trusted you completely. Yes. Named you in emergency contacts. Gave you power of attorney backup. Yes. And you repaid that trust by sleeping with his wife. Spending his money. Planning his future death. Ryan had no good answer. Silence condemned him. Sophia finally testified. Last hope for defense. She was poised. Prepared. Performance ready. I loved my husband. Still love him. Everything I did was for him. Her lawyer guided carefully. Why hire Nurse Deborah? She was highly recommended. Expensive but best. I wanted John to have excellent care. Why the private reports? I was overwhelmed. Scared. Needed someone to translate medical jargon. Help me understand. Your relationship with Ryan? He was supporting me. John's best friend. Helping me cope. I was lonely. Scared. Made mistake. I regret it. But it doesn't mean I didn't love John. Tears fell perfectly. On cue. Practiced. John watched unmoved. He'd seen this performance before. Charles cross-examined. Merciless. You claim to love husband. Yet discussed letting him die. I was scared, overwhelmed, said things I didn't mean. You spent hundreds of thousands on vacations, designer clothes, while he lay hospitalized. That's love. I needed to cope. To survive. You falsified medical reports through Deborah. That's love. I didn't know she was falsifying anything. I trusted her. Yet you paid her massive bonuses. For what exactly? Sophia struggled. For good care. For dedication. Or for silence. For cooperation. For fraud. No. That's not true. Charles showed evidence. Bank transfers. Deborah's notes. Timeline correlating payments with falsified reports. These bonuses came after specific report modifications. Coincidence? Must be. 20 times. 30 times. All coincidence? Sophia had no answer. Charles continued, you hired expensive lawyer. Discussed inheriting John's estate, before he died. Before divorce. While he lay helpless. That's love. I needed to plan, to be prepared, for his death, for any eventuality. You mean for when you finally got rid of him? No, that's not what I meant. Charles entered final evidence. Recording of Sophia and Ryan. Discussion about John's death. Considering options. Weighing risks. Their voices clear. Undeniable. Courtroom erupted. Judge called order. Sophia's lawyer demanded recording authentication. Charles provided it. Legally obtained. Properly documented. Admissible. Sophia broke down. Real tears this time. Panic. Fear. Reality. I didn't mean it. We never did anything. Just talked. Just scared talk. Too late. Jury heard everything. Saw everything. Understood everything. Closing arguments came week later. Prosecution summarized, systematic fraud. Financial exploitation. Conspiracy. Premeditated. Calculated. Criminal. Defense argued. Misunderstandings. Mistakes. Circumstances. Not criminal intent. Jury deliberated 3 hours. Returned with verdicts. Guilty. All counts. Both defendants. Courtroom exploded. Media frenzy. Public cheering outside. Sophia collapsed. Ryan sat stunned. John felt nothing. No joy. No satisfaction. Just emptiness. It was over. They lost. He won. But victory felt hollow. Sentencing came month later. Judge was harsh. These crimes represent profound betrayal, exploitation of vulnerable person, abuse of trust. Society demands accountability. Sophia received 8 years. Fraud. Conspiracy. Financial exploitation. Ryan received 10 years. Additional charge for abuse of fiduciary duty. Longer criminal history. Deborah received 5 years. Suspended to 3 for cooperation. Testimony. Evidence provided. All would serve time. All would lose everything. All would pay. Civil suit settled simultaneously. John received everything. Full assets. Punitive damages. Sophia left with nothing. Ryan with less. They destroyed themselves. He just documented it. Outside courthouse, media surrounded John. Shouting questions. Cameras everywhere. Charles made brief statement. Justice served today. Not just for John Morrison. For everyone who trusted. Who believed. Who loved. Betrayal has consequences. Court proved that. Thank you. John said nothing. Walked away. Got in car. Drove home. It was over. Finally. Completely. Over. 6 months after trial, John rebuilt his life systematically. Deliberately. Carefully. The hollow victory evolved into genuine peace. Not immediately. Not easily. But gradually. Therapy continued. Twice weekly. Processing trauma. Rebuilding identity. Creating future from ruins of past. You've made remarkable progress. His therapist observed. From rage to acceptance. From victim to survivor. John nodded. Took work. Still taking work. But I'm getting there. What changed? Perspective. Realized revenge was empty. Justice mattered. But real victory is building better life. Not destroying theirs. He meant it. Watching them imprisoned satisfied something primal. But didn't heal him. Didn't fix damage. That required different work. Internal work. He reconnected with his sister overseas. Video calls weekly. She flew in for month-long visit. I'm sorry I wasn't there, she said. During the coma. During trial. I should have been. You didn't know. John replied. Nobody knew. That was their advantage. They rebuilt sibling relationship. Shared memories. Created new ones. Family mattered again. Work resumed gradually. Law firm welcomed him back. But John changed firms. Needed fresh start. Clean slate. Joined boutique firm. Specialized in medical malpractice. Representing victims. Fighting fraud. His experience gave him unique perspective. Credibility. Understanding. First case involved patient mistreated during extended hospitalization. Family suspected negligence. John investigated thoroughly. Found evidence. Won substantial settlement. You understood, client said afterward. Really understood. Most lawyers just see case. You saw person. John built reputation quickly. Compassionate. Thorough. Relentless. Clients sought him specifically. Trusted him. Valued his expertise. Career rebuilt. Better than before. More meaningful. More purposeful. His enhanced abilities proved invaluable. Perfect recall. Enhanced perception. Reading people. Detecting lies. Medical mystery became professional advantage. He didn't advertise it. Didn't explain it. Just used it. Effectively. Ethically. Successfully. Social life took longer rebuilding. Trust issues persisted. Sophia and Ryan destroyed his faith in relationships. Not everyone betrays. Therapist reminded him. Most people are decent. Honest. Loyal. You experienced extreme exception. Not the rule. Intellectually John knew this. Emotionally struggled believing it. Started slowly. Firm social events. Casual conversations. Keeping distance. Maintaining walls. One colleague persisted. Emily. Corporate lawyer. Smart. Funny. Patient. She asked him to coffee. Just coffee. Professional. I know your story, she said directly. Everyone knows. But I'm not everyone. I'm just colleague who thinks you're interesting. Coffee doesn't mean commitment. Just conversation. John appreciated honesty. Accepted. Coffee became lunch. Lunch became dinner. Dinner became friendship. Slowly. Carefully. No pressure. No expectations. Emily respected his boundaries. Never pushed. Never demanded. Just consistent. Present. Real. I'm damaged, John warned her. Probably incapable of trusting again. Everyone's damaged, Emily replied. Life damages us. Question is whether we heal or let wounds define us. Deep, John said. I'm lawyer. We're all deep. She made him laugh. First genuine laughter in years. Felt good. Felt normal. Felt possible. 6 months later they were dating. Real dating. Not casual coffee. Actual relationship. John remained cautious. Watched for red flags. Tested her trustworthiness. Emily tolerated his caution. Understood origins. Proved herself consistently. I'm not Sophia, she said once. I know my story, know my past, know my damage. I'm choosing you anyway, scars included. Why? John asked genuinely. Because you're a good person who experienced terrible things. Because you fought back. Because you survived. Because you're rebuilding. That's admirable. Or, I'm bitter revenge-obsessed lawyer. Maybe. Both. Emily smiled. I can work with that. She made healing easier. Gave him reason to trust again. To hope. To believe in relationships. Not quickly. Not completely. But progressively. John's story went public beyond trial. Book deal materialized. He refused initially. Don't want to profit from suffering, he told Charles. Not about profit, Charles argued. About awareness. Other people in similar situations. They need to know signs. How to protect themselves. Your story helps them. John considered. What about privacy? You control narrative. Write it yourself. Or hire ghostwriter you trust. Your story. Your terms. John hired writer. Collaborative process. Therapeutic process. Telling story completely. Honestly. Painfully. Book released year after trial. Conscious, 3 years of betrayal. Bestseller immediately. Critics praised honesty. Rawness. Courage. Readers connected deeply. Reviews poured in. Many from medical professionals. Neurologists. Nurses. Thanking him for raising awareness. Sharing stories of other locked-in patients. Others from betrayal survivors. Spouses who discovered affairs. Friends who were used. People who understood violation. One review stood out. From coma survivor. Different circumstances, but similar isolation. Similar helplessness. Your story gave me voice. Helped me explain my experience. Thank you for your courage. That review mattered most. Made book worthwhile. Made public exposure valuable. He wasn't just healing himself. Helping others heal too. Media requests continued. He accepted select interviews. Chose carefully. Avoided sensationalism. Focused on awareness. Education. Prevention. What do you want people to learn from your experience? Interviewer asked. That consciousness isn't always obvious. That patients deserve dignity even when unresponsive. That betrayal reveals character. That justice matters. That healing is possible. Do you forgive Sophia and Ryan? No. Forgiveness isn't automatic. Isn't required for healing. I've moved forward. But forgiveness? They haven't earned it. What would they need to do to earn it? Genuine remorse. Real accountability. Changed behavior. Haven't seen any of that. Will you ever forgive them? Maybe. Eventually. But not yet. Not now. His honesty resonated. People appreciated lack of false inspiration. Real healing. Messy. Incomplete. Ongoing. Updates about Sophia and Ryan came occasionally. Both in prison. Serving sentences. Sophia struggled. Isolation. Consequences. Reality without manipulation. Ryan fared worse. Prison hierarchy didn't favor traitors. Other inmates learned his story. Judged him harshly. John felt no sympathy. Some nights he wondered if revenge satisfied. If their suffering balanced his. Decided it didn't matter. Not about balance. About justice. About consequences. About moving forward. They served time. He built life. Deborah contacted him once. Letter from prison. Apologizing again. Explaining herself. Hoping for forgiveness. John didn't respond. Nothing to say. Her apology. Her problem. Emily asked about it. Do you regret not responding? No. John said. She wants absolution. I can't give it. Won't try. Fair, Emily agreed. Your forgiveness isn't hers to demand. 2 years after trial, John proposed to Emily. Small moment. Private. Meaningful. I'm still damaged. He warned. I know. She said. I'm still cautious. He added. I know. She repeated. I might always struggle trusting completely. I know. Proposing anyway? Yes. If you'll have me. Obviously, yes. Small wedding. Close friends. His sister. Emily's family. Charles attended. Friend now. Not just lawyer. You did it. Charles said. Built new life. Moved forward. Proud of you. Couldn't have done it without you, John replied. You gave me justice. Foundation to rebuild on. You did the hard part. Living. Healing. Choosing hope over bitterness. Reception was joyful. Genuinely joyful. No shadows. No ghosts. Just celebration. John looked around. People who cared. People who supported. People who proved not everyone betrays. Life rebuilt. Different from before. But good. Maybe better. Definitely real. That night John thought about Sophia. First time in months. Wondered if she knew he remarried. If she cared. Decided it didn't matter. She was past. Emily was future. Final closure came unexpectedly. 3 years after trial. Letter from Sophia. Prison stationery. He almost didn't open it. Emily encouraged him. Might help. Might not. But knowing is better than wondering. John opened it. Read carefully. Sophia's handwriting. Older. Shakier. Different. John, I don't expect forgiveness. Don't deserve it. But I need you to know something. I was wrong. Completely. Inexcusably wrong. Prison gave me time to think. To see clearly. Without manipulation. Without justification. What I did was monstrous. You trusted me, loved me. I betrayed that completely. Used your vulnerability. Planned your exploitation. There's no excuse. No justification. I was selfish. Cruel. Inhuman. I destroyed you. Destroyed myself. Destroyed everything good. I understand if you hate me. I hate myself. Every day. Every moment. The woman who did those things. I don't recognize her. Don't understand her. But she was me. I own that. I'm truly sorry. Not sorry I was caught. Sorry for what I did. For who I was. For pain I caused. You owed me nothing. I owed you everything. I betrayed that. I hope you found peace. Found happiness. Found someone who deserves you. Someone I never was. Goodbye, John. I won't contact you again. Sophia. John read letter twice. Felt nothing. No anger. No satisfaction. No forgiveness. Just nothing. Is it genuine? Emily asked. Maybe. John shrugged. Doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything. Does it help at all? Little bit. Closure. Confirmation. Knowing she understands what she did. He filed letter away. Final piece of past. Done. Finished. Over. Life continued. John's practice thrived. Marriage strengthened. Healing progressed. Some days were harder. Nightmares occasionally returned. Trust wavered sometimes. But mostly good. Mostly healthy. Mostly happy. He never forgot 3 years. Never would. Couldn't. But they no longer defined him. No longer imprisoned him. He survived them. Overcame them. Transcended them. From victim to survivor to victor. From betrayed to rebuilt to renewed. His story ended not with revenge, but with renaissance. Not with their destruction, but with his reconstruction. That was ultimate victory. Ultimate revenge. Living well. Loving again. Building future brighter than past. Sophia and Ryan lost everything. He lost 3 years, but gained wisdom, strength, perspective, purpose. In the end, he won. Not because they suffered, but because he healed. Not because they were destroyed, but because he was rebuilt. Justice served. Life reclaimed. Future bright. That was enough. More than enough. It was everything. The end.